Welcome to WAC All Access. I'm Rachel Vigil. The WAC Tennis Championships are coming up next week in Brownsville, Texas, and it looks like Grand Canyon is the team to beat. We're now joined by the head coach for both the men's and women's tennis teams at Grand Canyon, Greg Prudhomme. Coach, I bet you're excited for next week.
Totally, yeah, we're very excited.
And you know, you got your men's team. Let's start with them first. They are currently undefeated in WAC play. What makes them such a special group of guys?
Yeah, I think just that's it. They are special. They have great team unity. They're hard workers. They're being coachable. So, I mean, we've had that in seasons in the past as well, and the competition in the WAC is tough. So, you know, this year it went our way. So there's a little bit of grace involved as well.
And you guys are going to have that first round bye. What does that mean for the tournament next week?
Yeah, I think in this case it'll be good. I mean, sometimes, you know, the having the bye isn't always the best thing because you don't have a match under your belt when you're playing a team that's already won. But I think in this case it's been a long season, and I think it'll really work out well.
And what do you really think it's going to take for your men's teams to win the tournament?
Just to continue to do what we've been doing. You know, we have a handful of things that are our go-to mantras, things that they're supposed to focus on that involve the process. So we're going to just continue doing more of the same.
Now switch over to the women's team. Do the women's team have that same mantra?
They do have the same mantra, but they got there in a different route. The guys having a lot of older players coming in, juniors and seniors, they started the year very dominant and continued through, whereas the women were coming off a year where we had 4 freshmen in our starting lineup last year, and then they're returning as sophomores. So it was a little more bumpy at the beginning, and it was extra rewarding to see the learning curve improve so much throughout the season and then have them really peaking at the most important time of the season.
That's always a good time. Right now is when you need them to do their very best. And what does it kind of mean to have that target on your back being the #1 seed? Would you say it's even a target?
Yes and no. I mean, it's really how we frame it. Teams can tend to play their best tennis against the #1 seeds because they might not have as much to lose. But at the same time, we try to take each match individual and separate from everything else. If there's something we can glean from a previous win or a loss, we want to, but we also don't want to use extra baggage or nerves on our shoulders because of a past performance. So we're happy to have the seed and to have the bye, and the competition on the women's side. There were so many 4-3 matches for us, and then the one against us with Rio Grande, and there's a chance we start against them, and so really there's no favorite. So in that sense, there might not be a target. You know, it's going to be a dogfight. Maybe it's a little different with the men, but in both situations, we're happy to be there.
And we were talking a little bit about the weather. You know, in Phoenix, you guys have that dry heat, but we're going to the humidity now when we go to Texas. Does that make you prepare differently at all?
Well, we went to Hawaii this year, so I know.
Yeah, that's a good humidity out there.
And I specifically told the men before that trip and during that trip that was going to be similar conditions. We had 80s and humidity and wind for the 3 days we were in Hawaii, and we had a really tough match playing against Hawaii. We had never beaten them until this year. So that was a little bit of a mini camp to get us ready for this. So, yeah, it is a little different going into the humidity. I think the heat is the biggest factor, which we already have that to prepare in. And then at least our guys know that they could perform and have had success in the humidity. So I think that'll help us going in.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you the best of luck next week, and I appreciate you coming on with me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's Greg Prudhomme from Grand Canyon for WAC All Access. I'm Rachel Vigil.